At 6, it's raised billions of dollars this year alone. Now, money needed for a variety of projects, from movies to medical bills, even a potato salad.
Yeah, that's right. WSBT 22 fact finder Patrick Roth has been investigating crowdfunding. And Patrick, some law enforcement agencies are taking a closer look.
Jennifer, they really are, because at first glance you think these sort of sites would be the perfect tool for fraud. But so far, there haven't really been a lot of cases involving fraud and crowdfunding. In fact, there's only been one case in Indiana. Like with anything else, when it comes to crowdfunding, law enforcement agency says it's up to the consumer to be aware.
The Sandpiper in Bridgman is a bit of an old-fashioned store. Its specialty is wool. A quaint little store in a quaint little town. But its owner has some big plans.
It would be a fiber mill, but to most people, they would just call it a yarn mill, a place where you produce commercially, yarns and fibers for spinning or for weaving. So that's exactly what we'd be looking at. Probably a total of about 1,700 square feet.
Doing that would create a lot of jobs. It also cost a lot of money, somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000. Normally, you'd go to a bank to get the money needed to get that project off the ground.
You can't necessarily fault the banks because you want them to be cautious about who they loan to. Even though I've had this business for 7 years, and it's just banks are very cautious, almost. I think that's probably being generous. They don't want to loan money to small business.
Now with crowdfunding, there are other ways to raise that kind of money.
I've donated through crowdfunding to other small endeavors, but I've never actually been on the receiving end of that. But it's been actually really good.
There are concerns when it comes to crowdfunding, both for donors and people starting their own project. Last year, the Federal Trade Commission brought its first case against someone for using deceptive practices when it comes to crowdfunding. The director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection says that while most people know there's uncertainty in helping start something new, consumers should be able to trust their money will actually be spent on the project they funded. And it's not just the FTC that has concerns about crowdfunding. The Indiana Attorney General's office also filed a lawsuit against a Kickstarter project in 2015. In a statement to WSBT 22, they say when it's an opportunity to donate to a charity or a cause, the Attorney General's office urges caution, as it's difficult to know whether the solicitations are for legitimate causes. If they're not, it's very unlikely that those who donated will get their money back. The old adage, let the buyer beware, applies here. Experts say that's the best thing anyone can do with crowdfunding, knowing not only who you're donating to, but why.
It's really important to do that homework and find the vehicle that best meets your needs for what you're going to do. And also, as you brought up earlier, be ready to put some skin in the game. People aren't going to take any more risks than you are taking.
And most crowdfunding websites take measures to prevent fraud. GoFundMe, for example, requires users to display their authentic identities. And Kickstarter pointed out to us at WSBT an academic study showing only 9% of projects failed to deliver rewards, and only 7% of backers didn't get the reward they wanted.
Now, a lot of people are going to be donating to these funding sites. What can people do to make sure that that money is going to where it's promised that it's going to be going to?
Well, I talked to the FTC about this, and they said, obviously, besides knowing who you're going to be donating to, or at least getting in touch with them, it's really about reading the fine print. You guys mentioned that potato salad. A couple of years ago, some people might remember that. Someone raised $50,000 for a potato salad. Now, at first, it got out of hand. He was trying to do it tongue-in-cheek, and the things were really silly, like he was saying, I'll say out everybody's name when I take a bite of the potato salad. Okay. But then it became like, I'm going to donate the money to a food bank. So it's in there, it's that really fine print, you just have to be aware of it.
Yeah.